But it's a technique to observing your comedy, like to going over your material. I consider it to be a very technical thing. Over the last like 4 or 5 years, I've taken it progressively more and more serious, where I force myself to listen to recordings. I force myself to write bits out and consider all the different aspects of them, writing them out, and then consider them as I'm saying them on stage. And I never did that before.
Yeah.
I never did that till about 4 or 5 years ago. I would write occasionally. That's what I did till about 4 or 5 years ago. I would record my sets and I would write occasionally.
So you become more technical.
Yeah, it is technical, but I'm never going to be as funny as Joey Diaz.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, I know what you're
those
saying.
moments that he hits, they're different. They're different. There's a different kind of moment.
Yeah.
And it's not a planned out moment.
Oh. As soon as he says, "Let me tell you something, dog," that's when I go.
tell you
Like,
something.
all right, here we go.
The anger builds up. Joey would get mad, not at me, but about things to me that I wasn't even arguing
But
against.
yelling at you.
Just to get ready to go on stage. So you'd be backstage with, these fucking guys with their fucking alt comedy rooms. What the fuck is alt comedy? And
You just nod,
he would get
get the
so
nod.
fired
Yeah.
up. He would do your fucking momos with your glasses and your old school fucking lace-up boots. Get the fuck out of here. And he would just get angry. It's not even like anybody was saying it to him. And then he would take that and just run onto the stage.
Yeah.
And he would
With
just
that
go
energy.
on there already fucking heated up.
Yeah.
He would do that to us all the time.
Yeah.
You remember in the green room? He
You know,
would get
when
mad
calls,
at us.
When he calls, you're like, people be like, hello? Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Yeah.
He yelled at me at the Improv once for bringing a notebook.
Oh, really?
He yelled
Oh,
at
that's
me.
yeah, that's so
He goes,
Joey.
what are you
Hate
doing? You're
notebooks.
letting everybody know you write? You got a fucking notebook over here, Joe Rogan? You like one of those fucking guys who come, let me bring my notebook on stage and tell the same fucking material I've been telling for 5 fucking years. And he got mad and he just went right to the stage.
Dude, I told you what happened with Joey and my dad on that plane.
On the plane?
Yeah.
They flew together?
Yeah, my dad flew with Joey.
No.
Really?
So yeah, my dad loves Joey. So we're in Tampa, Joey's doing Tampa. My dad gets on the plane and Joey's eating a space cake. And he goes, "Oh, Mr. K, you want one of my cookies?" Joey's already dosed my dad before, twice. My dad's like, "No, I'm good, Joey." So my dad sits on the flight. He lands and he texts me and he says, "Joey D's on my flight. Maybe we should give him a ride home." Except Joey and I live next door to each other, near each other. So my dad gets off the plane and he goes, I said, "How was the flight?" And he goes, "It was great. I was looking at Joey. Joey was out the whole fucking flight. He slept." I said, "What about your flight?" And he goes, "I sat next to a goddamn moron." And I said, "Really? He was a fucking moron? I didn't tell you this?" He goes, "I slept next to a fucking moron. I'm a moron, Bert. Guy's ripped with muscles, but the dumbest human being I could ever sit next to." I said, "Why?" And he goes, 5 hours he played Candy Crush. He's a grown man in first class. And for 5 hours he played Candy Crush. I mean, you'd think he'd have a thought that he'd write down or want to lift up a paper, but for 5 hours he played fucking Candy Crush." And Joey Diaz comes out around the corner of the airport and goes, "Dog, your dad sat next to John Cena."
Oh my
And I was like, "Are you serious?" Joey's like, "He played Candy Crush the whole fucking flight."
Oh my, poor John Cena plays Candy Crush. He just got outed.
For fucking 5 hours.
I've done it.
I don't fuck with those games, man. I don't fuck with those games.
They cause depression.
They're
We were talking
horrible.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's got a problem with that Subway Surfer one. I watch her playing
haven't
that thing
seen
all
that
the time.
one. No.
There's too many crazy games out there. And you know, Razer, you know the company that makes gaming peripherals?
Razer.
They have a fucking Razer now has a phone, a gaming phone.
All for those games.
It's
Dude,
a gaming
imagine-
phone with crazy large speakers on the sides of it. So like it has bezels that have
Yeah.
like these speakers with bass. It has a giant battery where it'll fucking play video games forever. And you're just gonna be a stone cold
Super
junkie
addictive, man.
on your phone. Just and it's good. 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
The refresh rate is like way above, like double what a regular phone is.
Magical and his wife
I've
told
gotten
me.
lost in those fucking games.
Yeah.
100%.
Pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
It's
Crazy
great.
Birds.
It's great.